I've gotten a little fancier with today's video. I have a teleprompter right off the screen. So I've got my laptop stacked up on Shakespeare books. So I'm hoping that will help. That also maybe belay the thing that I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt and Cubs pajama pants. I do work at home. So let's get started on today's video. We're going to talk about auditions. I like to focus on audition do's. I want to keep myself positive. And that's a good mind frame when you're going into auditions. Try to stay positive. I'm not an expert by any stretch, and I do mostly youth theater when I audition, but a lot of this kind of stuff applies, things I find success with. I'm hoping that some of you can make some comments about some things that you think of or some positive things you do when you audition, and I know I've got a lot of friends that are directors, and I'm hoping to hear from their perspective as well. The first thing kind of has to do with you got to have an air of confidence. I see so many people like they're kind of in their head thinking, they're worried about it. You got to be confident in who you are as a person. You're not going to be perfect. Your audition's not going to be perfect, okay? You're not going to be perfect that way, right? I'm not going to be perfect. Look at this. But I want to come in with some confidence that I'm going to do my best. With that being said, you also want to keep an open mind and heart. You don't necessarily know what the director needs or what you might do that day. So you're going to be confident, though. Be sure of yourself. Stay focused on what you're doing. I'm not on my phone. I'm not digging through things. I'm in my seat, focused, ready to go. With that being said, that kind of goes with that is I really try to pay attention to the other auditioners. There's a couple things with that, especially if you're on the youth side. I'm going to be doing a show with a lot of youth involved together. I want to see how they treat each other, how the cast connects each other. And I do that with adults. Are you going to be part of the team? Are you going to be able to work with this whole ensemble put together? So how do you interact? So I'm watching others for that. I'm also watching to see what kind of choices they make. What are they doing? Are they able to stand still? Or are they doing like me, where they're rocking a little bit? Are they, how are they holding their book? How are they able to look? So that's kind of what I'm watching for that. I'm also trying to really listen to whatever the director says. If another actor gets a note, I might be able to take that a little bit or take a read, or I see somebody give a specific read that I really like, I might be able to go that way. Or maybe, okay, so this person did really well reading the character a little on the sly side, So I might try to read that same character a little more bold. So it might be a reaction to what you've seen, trying to show you can go a different way. So really watching and paying attention to what's going on. The other thing that always kind of surprises me a little bit when people come to the auditions, they don't really know the show. So that's one of my best recommendations. Know what you're auditioning for. Know the kind of characters that you might be able to play at all. Know the show well. Do some research in there. Do some reading. Kind of see how others approach the show. Knowing that show will really help you, especially with a cold read. If you're doing a musical audition and you're singing, what's the style of that show? What's the influences of that show, so I can sing and try to maybe bring that same vibe. So I want to know it. One thing I say a lot that's important to hear is you can't really fool a director. They already know what you can do. So like, I've got a bit of a cold, or, I don't feel well, or whatever those things. I understand those kinds of things when I'm directing, but I can't fool you. I can still hear your tone. I can still see your attempt at some emotion or motivation with your character. I can still see those things. I can also see that, a little bit of your person. Like, in other words, no one is reading me for the romantic lead. I'm 5'7" and look like this. So I can't go in with that whole idea that I'm going to change everything that happens. So that's going to be really important. You can't fool the director, so let that give you some peace. A little bit of peace of mind. You can only be yourself to some degree, and what you want to do to some degree. What you want to show the director is what's on your inside. Can you let out your emotions? Can you dig deep in there? Can you be that real person we've talked about in other videos? But can I let that out? Or I'm going to be really stiff, or I can't do it. Can I be bold? Can I send my insight? Can I access my own emotions, my own feelings, and pour that into the character? I think that's a lot of what directors are looking for. That's the part that's you. We want to see what's on the inside. We want to see the best version of you. Because no one is going to perform like they do in the audition. So in other words, whatever you do on the audition, we're hoping it grows from there. So I want to see an audition, can you grow from there? Can you add to it? Do you have passion? Can you connect to those emotions, digging deep in there? One of the things I hear a lot about that's really tough is cold reads. Cold reads are pretty difficult. It's really sometimes has to do with reading, and how you're trying to watch the other actors. So the really big tip I have for cold reads is whatever character you're doing, try to pick a motivation or emotion, something really concrete to that character, and go with it. You can't overthink it, overanalyze it. It'd be nice if you can get a little journey, maybe 1 or 2 motivations, or change the emotion, but show the director that you can play at least that scene. So whenever they tell you the scene, and that's why watching is really important. You can see some of the things in there, and you're reading, you can tell what that emotion. So almost always the director says, I'll give you a few minutes to look over the script. I'm amazed by, not the person that knows the show real well and they don't have to read, by the person that doesn't know real well and doesn't take advantage of that time. If they're giving you time to look at that cold read, to look at that script, go through it and see if you can find that character motivation. What are the couple things they're thinking? And that you can portray that. A really good audition then is, can you try it a different way if you get to read that character again, right? Can you try a different way or something you like? And then again, I'm going to repeat it. Got to have some confidence. Go in there being brave. Give the best audition you can. The director's looking to see what's inside of you and see if that fits the show. You can't control that. If you don't fit the show, you don't fit the show. So can you give your confident best part of yourself? What's on the inside? What motivation and emotion can I take from me and put it into that audition?